So I think this is Connecticut officially look at protecting kids and teens from harmful social media algorithms. This is like just a quick thing that's going on in Connecticut. Just some, what's
Yeah,
going on
well,
with that stuff.
good.
We've placed phones in kids' hands, tablets in kids' hands, and we haven't given them the guardrails they need to use them safely.
The future of social media in Connecticut could soon change. Governor Ned Lamont and Attorney General William Tong say they will propose a new law in this upcoming legislative session.
They say it could protect children from harmful and addictive algorithms. Fox 61's Stephen Reels has what we know so far and how parents are reacting.
This isn't the first time we've seen state lawmakers propose a restriction like this. A similar one passed the State House of Representatives last legislative session, but was never called on for a vote in the Senate. This new version would be similar to proposals we've seen in other states like New York, California, and Utah. And it would put new privacy settings for children's accounts and would restrict how long they use social media and when they would receive notifications so they don't get notifications overnight. A pop-up warning would also be added about the dangers of social media on mental health whenever a child opens an app. This would also require social media companies to report to the state how many minors are on their platform, how many of them have parental consent, how long they spend on the app, and it would be broken down by age and the time of day. I sat down with mother and educator Heather Moran, who runs.
So this was a quick preview. This is happening in Connecticut, where I think they're going to be proposing some kind of legislation to,
Yep, I'm down.
You are?
I'm down for that.
Yo, same. I hate to say it, but same.
They need to take these damn tablets out these kids' hands and raise their kids.
Okay.
That's what's kind of happening. These parents are handing these kids these tablets, and like she said, no guardrails.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know what they're giving them, and we see, man, these kids today know everything because lack of parenting.
How about you, Brendan? I got a slightly different view, but how about you?
What I'll say is, I allow my children to use tablets, but, I'm definitely, especially as of late, I'm like, and I got time limits on there. I got, hey, if you on Roblox, you only going to be there X amount of time. It shuts off at a certain amount of time, but it still seems like the tablets themselves are an issue. That screen time is an issue. It has an effect on these kids. They're less, I don't know, man. It's like they just checked out. It's a dopamine. It's a dopamine injection when they on it, and they fiending like fiends when they not on it. So I'm definitely all for this if it's something that's going to help these kids. I mean, yes, we can do our part as parents, but this is another step. I'm all for it.
Okay, I see that. Mine's I'm a little bit against it. I understand why they're doing it, but I'm a little bit against it. Because yes, I understand, like as a parent, I won't have it. I won't allow them to have it, but I think if they had better programs for the kids, because this is their future. We're basically living in what's going to be their past. So basically, we're preparing them for a world they will never see. Because they're by the time they grow up, they're going to be on the back end of it. You know what I'm trying to say? Is like, you remember when you used to go to school and they're preparing you for billing. They ain't billing anymore. Billing is already expired. That's is like you don't even see. I'm not picking on billing, but that's a great example of when you grown up. You was like, you study for this. You did now billing. AI is doing billing, and I'm just kind of over speaking, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get it.
But where I'm coming from is you can't keep the kids away from the future because these are the kids that are going to, they need to grow up and they need to be programmers. They need to be coders. They need to be this, right? So it's like, I think they should, as long as more STEM, where they're getting into STEM but yes, screen time. I'm not saying no to the screen time. I agree with the STEM, the screen time, but Go ahead.
The one thing that they talked about was changing the algorithm. So what are they planning on putting in their own program that the kids should be paying attention to? Or they're saying that the algorithm is giving them garbage to consistently.
So let's use TikTok for example. When TikTok was out there, what TikTok was doing is what the kids in China or wherever TikTok is from, they only get STEM content.
Yeah, I heard that.
They don't get the TikTok here where there's dancing and all of that stuff.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like my kids. It's like when I heard TikTok from my kids, they were all outside doing the dances and all of that, and I'm like, man, don't tell me nothing about TikTok. And they was out there busting it, like doing the dances, and I'm like, what is that? But if you go to TikTok, there is a tab called STEM. They have the same functionality. They could click that button and go learn about science, engineering, and all of that stuff. You know, so that's what drew me to TikTok was the STEM portion of it. Yo, it got people on there right now that are teaching algebra, differential equation. You know, they're sitting there going through. You could talk to them live. You know, so I kind of like that feature. You know, but screen time, I do agree with you guys with the screen time. Screen time is a must depending on age, but I think how they going about it, I think might block a couple people from actually learning what they need to be learning. I think like you brought up a good point. If they had a substitute of, I don't even know. I can't even call it, man. You know?
Man, bringing that STEM stuff you was just talking about, you piqued my interest right there. Like if my kid could get off that and go straight to this STEM stuff, hey.
Well, the younger they are, the easier it is to do. But once they get a tip of that nectar, they're done. They're doing TikTok dances from they 2 years old.
Lord, and that's what I don't need.
Exactly.
Yeah, they got all of that for you explore. Let me pull it up.
All right, lights out.
Yeah.
But on the phone it's slightly different. On the phone it's slightly different. But
yeah, I've heard them talk about that before.
Yeah, on the phone they got a STEM tab. You click on it and it's all educational stuff. All educational stuff.
I ain't gonna lie. If I had it on my phone, I'd explore. If my kids had access to it, I'd explore. But that right there, that's a tree I ain't trying to touch.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm already hit with too much Facebook, Instagram, doom scrolling.